Are you still on the fence? What are you waiting for? Go to AmericanDreamTrading.com and get signed up right away for the Gold VIP membership, where Mark McSee provides you with the latest news, updates, company profiles, economic calendars, so much more. Everything that you need to make an informed decision on how to invest your hard-earned money. Go to AmericanDreamTrading.com and get signed up today.
Uh, 207.80 up. Let's go really low on this one just to give you some room. 207 do. Okay. But if you look at the trend, right, of what's been happening with NVIDIA, if you take your overall trend, it's been to the upside, leading up to, I always talk about this, always leads up to earnings, but typically it's buy the rumor, sell the news. So you've got to be extremely careful.
Yeah, see, and that though is exactly why I like for traders to use Apple, right? Because it isn't that much volatility. You know what I mean? You could have 100 contracts at Apple, but it moved a penny, there's $100. You have 100 contracts at NVIDIA and it moves like that, right? That's 5,000. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's make it rain.
Join American Dream Trading's live trading weekdays 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. Welcome to the Aftermarket. American Dream Trading. You have entered the Aftermarket. AmericanDreamTrading.com. Welcome. You are now in the Aftermarket. Don't lose if you're not winning. What do we mean by that? Because there's a science behind it. Okay? Well, it's like, well, don't lose if you're not winning. Well, how can you do, like, how does that work? What we mean by that is protect your assets. Hell, if you're not going to make money in the market, damn sure don't lose it. Welcome to tonight's Aftermarket, guys. That's the topic of conversation in the Stock Lounge. I'm your host, J&J Video Reacts. Welcome to another episode of American Dream Trading's The Aftermarket Live Chat and Watch Party. So let's talk about that. But first, before we do, don't forget to, if you want to join American Dream Trading, right now you can get 6 months of the VIP membership, which includes one-on-one type style trading with coach. It includes trading view indicators that practically, like, I started to say make the sale, that practically make the trade for you, or at least tell you how to trade it. You also get workshop classes. You also get the pre-market with me, Mark McSee, Nate, Ange in the morning, Aaron. We're all in there trying to help you guys get better and better and better. And then if you buy 6 months of that package, you will now get 6 months free of the VIP Gold upgrade, which not only includes all of that, but it includes weekend training with David. It's like a one-on-one with David every weekend. breakout rooms, which we had an amazing breakout room today. Thank you. Shout out to everybody that was there today. Nate, put on a master class as usual, and others were in there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but everybody that was in there, thank you for being in there. It was amazing. It was awesome. I know Ange was in there. So yeah, the breakout rooms are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? Not only that, when Coach has one of his mastermind classes, you get free access. Normally, you'd have to pay $200 a la carte for that on our website. But if you are a gold member, you get that free in your membership. So now's the time. Buy a 6-month VIP for $1,500. Get the gold upgrade added on for free. So go ahead, jump on that. Go to AmericanDreamTrading.com. The link has been pinned to the top of the live chat. Thank you, Miranda, for putting that in there. And it has been pinned, and it is also for those of you on the replay game in the description of the video as well. So no excuses. Go to American Dream Trading and get signed up if you haven't already. Please make sure you guys share this video and subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get Coach to 15,000 subscribers right now. We are currently running steady at 11,551. So thank you for those. Let's continue to drive that up. We're almost at 12K, guys. That's only 3K away. So we can get this done. We can do it. Let's try to have it done by the end of the year, right? We did this last year and we rocked it. So let's get it done. Let's get it done. When we were trying to get to 10K, we did it. So yes, let's get it done. And last but not least, yours truly's tip jar. If you think I'm doing a good job on the show, if you like the content that we're bringing to you, go ahead and throw something. If you use a curse word that begins with F, that's a guaranteed $25. You got to throw it in there. Got to do it. Got to do it. So, but thank you for the tips, guys. I appreciate your and love your faces. Let's get Ange in here. She is backstage. Ange.
I'm so good at being muted when I come in here that I forget that I'm muted.
Well, it's a good thing because, it always helps when people are muted to keep out the background noise. I have to do it.
Right? I hear you.
Let's see. Let me go ahead and change it to our lounge music here. We are rocking. So what do you think about the topic tonight?
What is the topic tonight?
It is, woo! Somebody's behind the 8 ball. No, I'm only kidding. It is if you're not, don't lose if you're not winning in a trade. How is that possible? Right?
I am a space cadet today. I apologize. It's been a long day.
Oh, leave her alone. Is that Arlo?
No.
He's got to focus, damn it.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, so elaborate a little more. I did a lot of training all day today, and I am...
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. What I mean by that is if you're not winning, then certainly don't lose. Like today, take SPY, for example, right? SPY was chop sewage, okay? Chop sewage. Not sewage. It was bullshit, okay? It was choppy for most of the day before it finally decided to pick a direction after 2 o'clock. And even then, it's still kind of chopped a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing to do is not to just run and rush and jump into SPY because you want to make a ton of money. You know what I mean? So if you're not winning, and if it's not any winning trades, then damn it, don't sit there and jump in stuff and lose money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree 110%.
Yeah, so
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Absolutely don't. Absolutely don't do it. No. And that goes for anything, right? Like we don't need to chase any of that stuff either and stuff. And you have to be disciplined enough to know that you just can't. Like you just can't do it.
Absolutely. All
That's
right.
my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
That's awesome.
But for real though, we're given the tools and the training that tell us not to do that. Why do we do it? Absolutely. I've fallen victim to that myself sometimes where I just want to trade, I just want to hop in and and do, and make some money, maybe lose my face a little bit, whatever, right? But why?
It's like we're fiends.
We know better.
Yeah. It's like we have to get in there, and it's like, no, damn it. I had a set amount of money I wanted to make today. I'm going to get in this trade.
Mm-hmm.
But you had CNEY, you had Amazon, you had so many other things that you could have jumped in. If you don't see a winning trade, and then a lot of stuff was choppy like that. So it's like, if you don't see a winning trade, don't lose money. It's okay to sit it out. You know what I mean? And a lot of people they are so wired up to trade that they force trades and end up not only not winning, but losing money as well.
Right. Absolutely.
I'd rather break even. Coach said that a long time ago. He said he'd rather see people break even than lose money.
I get that though. I mean, there's been several times that I've been in a trade where it went south a little bit and then it came up enough, and I saw that it was going to, right? And I ended up breaking even, no harm, no foul, right? It's a learning opportunity. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But chasing, in my experience, I don't like to do it, right? I would rather wait for that perfect setup, and I listen to those around us that are doing this and they're doing it successfully, right? Like, if that's what they're doing, they're being successful, then that's what in my mind I'm thinking, okay, well, that's fine. So that's what I'm going to do too, right?
Yeah.
Fighting those urges to do those things when, you shouldn't be, right?
You shouldn't.
Stuff, but
yeah, man. So how was your weekend?
My weekend was fantastic. It was great. I relaxed, I recharged, I studied, spent time with the kids, got the things done. It was great. It was a good time. Yeah.
Me too. Got some house cleaning done.
Yes.
Watched a couple of movies as usual and did some editing. Basically did some studying. I know that I must have done at least 20 spy replays where I just went back to like the beginning of last month and just kept, playing spy. And it was so cool because I found myself using the 2-minute EWO strategy. And when it would bottom out or top out or whatever, I would go ahead and start shedding, and it just worked out. I kicked replay's ass this weekend, so it was a good weekend.
That's awesome.
Good weekend.
And I can't stress that enough, right? Like the amount of time that goes into the preparation to just be a damn good trader. Like you're not going to be damn good at what you're doing if you're not doing the work.
Right.
That goes hand in hand too with going in and, hopping in a trade because you want to trade, not because it has the right setup,
And I think a lot of us do that, or at least like a lot of us tend to do that. I know I was doing that a lot. I wanted to make money. So when money is your primary focus and not the process, of course, you're going to jump into trades that don't work because all you're thinking about is trying to make money. You're not thinking about looking at what's in front of you that's telling you don't get in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So It's very, very important that people get a grip on the psychology of trading because it's probably one of the hardest things you'll ever have to master because you got to master yourself in order to master the psychology of trading.
And that's a great point. You really do need to master yourself before you can come in here and be successful. I would agree with that 110%. And I would tell anybody off the street, anybody who is interested in, I've had a lot of conversations with people who are like, oh, well, this is so cool. This is what you do, but what they don't see, and all I can do is tell them is the amount of work that goes into myself to do this. The amount of time that goes into the technical part of this, the things that I've sacrificed to get to this point, like y'all don't see that, right? Like you guys don't all see that piece of it. That's hidden behind the successes, So, I mean, it all goes so close together, and it all goes hand in hand. But I know, right, when I put my head down at night and I'm going to bed and I remind myself and I look back on the day the weeks, now the months, we're creeping up on a year here in a couple months. I've made that ultimate sacrifice. And because of that, I can say that this is where I am today. And that comes with all the discipline and all the things too. And going in, just like you said, don't lose if you're not winning, right? And that you can apply that to any piece of your trading journey. It doesn't just have to be in a trade.
Yeah. Any piece of it. You can apply that to life. You know what I mean? It's like if you're not where you want to be in life, it doesn't mean that you automatically just give up and go south and start doing all the things that are going against what you really want to happen in your life just because you haven't achieved it yet. You got to remember there's a journey that has to happen before you achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. And if you just shit on the journey, well, then how are you going to get to where you want to get to? The journey is how you get there. And it's like a lot of people take for granted what we learn in here. And it's like, I don't feel like doing that. I'm too tired. Well, then you don't really want it. You know what I mean? Because it takes that focus and that constant being on top of it, the screen time, the getting up at 4 a.m, the practicing, the recording of the L2s, everything. It takes all of that for you to be able to say at the end of the day, hey, I actually made it. I'm one of the 1% or 10%, whatever it works out to be, that actually made it trading. That's a lot, dude. That's huge because that is a very, very, very small percentage in the world. All right. So to say that you successfully trade on a daily basis, that's huge because not many people can,
Exactly. And for God's sake, don't settle. You wouldn't settle for, at the end of the day, you wouldn't settle for the trash in your life, right? Like you wouldn't settle for the things that you do outside of being a day trader or outside of being an employee, for someone else. Like, don't settle. Why the hell would you come in here and do the same thing?
Right.
Like the amount of effort and time that goes into this and the learning and all the things, right? Why would you want to just settle like that? I think about that a lot, right? It's such an important thing. Like you have this thing right in front of you, like the entire world at your fingertips. Like once you put in the work, it's right there for you. I mean, it's literally like here, and all you have to do is take it.
That's it.
You're willing to do the work. You know what I mean?
It's so funny too because there's this basketball family called the Ball family, right? And I remember I'd watch these videos about the youngest, which is LaMelo Ball, and I'd see a lot of the stuff that he bought. The fact that they gave this kid a $40 million contract at age 19. Well, he was 21 years old, $40 million. And he's already a savvy businessman, right? He's already got investments and things like that he's already made millions of endorsements and things like that. And then to have, and that was an endorsement deal. Then to have a max contract thrown at him for like $200 million over the course of the next 4 years. This kid is on his way to being a billionaire, and he's barely 25 years old. Okay, I don't even think he is 25. Well, stuff like that. I would think, wow, one day, man, one day. And as I get older, I realize, wow, that never happened. Well, no, my life's not over yet. So what the hell? And then I run into American Dream Trading. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Ding, 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 ding. Wake up the presses. Okay. The dream is back in full effect, baby. Just when you thought that there was no way that was ever going to be your destiny, you were given a jewel that you get to actually polish and hold on to and like cultivate every day. And one day now, because of that, something like that is possible for the everyday average person that is in this group. If you've made it this far, if you've made it into this group, stuff like that is possible. But in order to get to that, you got to forget about all of that and get started on your journey. And you got to do that by making sure that every day, no matter what, you are doing everything that you can to master the process of getting in a trade at the proper time, getting out at the proper time. That's all you've got to do. And it's not easy to do that. But if you study, like I do, like Ange does, Nate's already a millionaire. He consistently studies. Okay. Coach, always writing in his journal. He's already a multimillionaire. Why do you think they do that? Because they constantly want to get better. All the stuff that American dream, it's named that for a reason. All that stuff that we see, that's the American dream, that is what is on the other end of that education if you take it seriously. So it's like, don't settle for losing just because you're not sitting in that boat yet. So what? It is eventually going to be there, but you got to go. You got to get to eat look, Popeye, right? When he kicked Brutus's ass and he beefed up, what did he have to do first? Eat freaking spinach. Nobody likes to eat spinach, but he had to eat the spinach first to get strong. You got to work out to lose weight. You got to stop bending the elbows and the forks. You got to put work in if you want to look and feel great. It doesn't just come to you like that. So the trading is the same thing. It takes work, but don't settle for, I'm not where I want to be. So I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you don't do that. Don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't just automatically throw your money away chasing bullshit trades. And it all comes back full circle, because nothing's on the board today. Set it out. Wait. Guys, are you just gonna let us get up here and ramble? I know there's other people down there that have a story like this that they can be telling. Eminem, come on up here, girl. Waffle, what's happening? Do we have bad breath? What's happening? What's up? Let's get some people up here on the panel so we can Eric Smoto, man, I know you need to come on up here. Come on, brother. Talk to these people. Let them know, man. You don't, just because you're not winning, that doesn't mean you have to be losing. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get somebody else in here. Is this F2? F2, what's up, my brother? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm better now that you're here. How'd you do today?
I did all right. I traded a little bit in pre-market. Other than that, I've been paper trading, trying to gain more knowledge on options and stuff, because that's something I'd like to knock out of the park here soon. So I've been playing around with it, and it's not going too swift. So
I'm glad you came up here, and I'm glad you said that, because you are one of the people that I thought about when I was creating this, because you are somebody who has taken the bull by the horns and has just kept on moving forward at a base hit pace, but the base hits are getting larger. If people are paying attention, your percentages are growing each day, right?
right.
You're
Well,
killing it.
today I didn't even hit 1%, but it was green, so I said we'll take this. It's adding a little cheddar to the bank. So
one more green day is one less red day, brother. So, and there's
True.
so many people who wish they had less red days. So good job, whatever you did. All right, we got more people in the backstage.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Good for you.
Yes, man.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I've been doing some reading, right? And just kind of like mentally preparing myself and creating a plan for when it's going to be time for me to start doing some of that stuff too, right? So now it's on my radar for the future, right? So I said I would
Reading rainbow.
But it's just one of those deals now where 6-8 months from now when I'm ready, I will, or whatever. So but awesome. Now I'm putting it into the universe, right? So now I'm starting to really think about it. Okay, I've mastered this for myself now, with the scalping. So now it's time to start thinking about what's next. So
that's awesome
too. You're gonna kill it. It's gonna be awesome. I kind of feel like we're side by side on our journeys.
Yeah, definitely.
You're killing it. Like
I mean, scale doesn't matter, right? Like it's just being on the same path and of having the same goals, you know, of where we want to take this is what I mean.
It is helpful when you guys understand the pitfalls and the things you got to walk through that Don helped so many people through for the last couple of years.
Thank you for saying that, JP. That was really sweet, honey. Thank you.
It's a real
I mean,
deal.
I try. If anything I say helps somebody, that's all I want to do. You know what I mean? So thank you for saying that. And thank you for being here. Well, you and Waffle, thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of good today. So I'll be a little transparent and speak up because I actually made some money.
Talk to us.
Yeah, you know,
Good for you.
Just at the end of the day, I was looking at, for you guys that are a little bit more analytical, I was looking at the 3 charts of SPY 4 days out and ASTS 4 days out and DJT 4 days out on the options. And the reason I did that is I thought, well, it looks like it's easier to go see ASTS move $3. And what does that look like on the option? And DJ2 move $2 or $3. And what does that look like on the option? Well, go back 15 to 20 minutes on your SPY chart and go look at that 4 day out option that's 4 days out today. And you could have made almost double, almost 2 times if you'd have tried to play, instead of playing an option with ASTS or DJT with that thing. And it was really interesting because that's why the coach tells us, usually he says 3 weeks out, 90 days out, not even to trade 4 days out. But it was really interesting. And so I took the time to look at the different graphs and going out 15 to 30 minutes. And I'm going to run over to that option calculator and just feed the numbers in it and see what it says. But it was, you don't have to force these other things that you don't hear the coach talking about. You can talk about the stocks that are being worked with and still do very well.
It's funny you said that. I looked up ASTS this morning myself because I played it last week and did pretty good on it. That's a nice hidden gem, guys. ASTS, keep your eye on it.
I did, but 4 days out on SPY, you could have almost made double on the options. It's really interesting. And I don't mean swinging overnight. I mean day trading the option 4 days out on SPY. So if you compare them, you can see that. $3 move on ASTS is about 100% or so, and $2 on DJT. And the 1% move on SPY, $4 or $5, is almost 200%. So, but
that's awesome.
You look at different rates and different groups and so on, and how far out of the money you are. So anyway, it was interesting. The ones
that's cool.
Generally actually are very, very able to provide you with a decent profit. And that gem that you guys were talking about, go ahead. You got to see these glasses. Look at these things. Can you see those? Now watch this. Watch this. I got them we got a place where you can buy them for 99 cents. You can get any glasses you want from 1 power to 4 power. Look at how these things fold up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can put them in my pocket. They're John proof. All right.
Reminds me of Coach's phone.
So anyway,
everybody's scared of the close-up.
Nobody gets to see them on me, that's why.
That's pretty awesome. Wow. You always have tips, JP, whether it be stocks, whether it be glasses. You just bring so much.
Based on you guys talking. 42% on Q calls. And if I'd have stayed in there, of course, I'd have made 100%. But I threw in the trail stop limit. For me, I have to, people with my personality and the things I get desperate with, I have to put in the trail stop limits. So I did that, and 42% is when it kicked out. And the first one was on the Q, what was it? The puts. When it was the calls first. I'm sorry. It was you can see it on profit and loss. I posted the picture, whatever it is. The first one was about 22 to 24%. The second one was 42%. And those were both positions that somebody could have traded 12,000 with instead of 1,200 for the day. They'd have been up 36% or whatever it was. So that's interesting. Thank you guys for
What part of the day did you trade SPY?
I traded options.
Which part of
That
the day
again.
you traded SPY, right?
Let me turn it up. Oh, I was looking at SPY, but I was trading the Qs today.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, watching Apple, Microsoft, and SPY. And NVIDIA.
This probably was the worst time of day ever right here to try to be in something like SPY. Unless you are a scalper who trades per candle. I mean, there were sections in here, and I made a couple dollars on SPY this morning on this run here, right? But after that, it just kind of went south. And instead of jumping in the put, I decided to just let it ride, and I'm glad I did because it got really weird after that. And then I jumped back in it up here. But this was a weird section here. But even if you look here, this is what I was talking about earlier. Now, of course, with my screen, the red candles are represented in blue and the green candles are represented in white for vision purposes. But look at that. These were contract killers. Go up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. I mean, look at the volume in them. Up, down, up, down. Like, oh, I made money. Oh, they took it back. Oh, I made money. Oh, they took it back. Even though it's trending up, you got to be careful not to be fooled. If you get in at the right time, which is down here, and you ride it all the way up with this 2-minute EWO, then you're going to be successful. But come on, most of us or a lot of people don't get in at the right entry, so they end up scalping. And if you try to scalp this, unless you're a master scalper with a large account and you can trade one candle each, you're not going to make any money getting chopped up through there. So you're better off, like JP says, play the percentages, get in where you're supposed to, and ride it out, because at the end of the day, you're going to be happy that you did. When you see something like this, get the hell out of it or shed. And that way you've still got some skin in the game for when it comes back up, but you're not losing all of your money in a drop like this, because it was happening all day. So if you weren't careful, look at this. Yes, let's make money. All right, time to take it back. Yeah, boom. And it came out of nowhere. So that's the kind of stuff. When we tell you new people, don't trade SPY, this is why. SPY has been giving you gifts the past few days. It normally trades like this. You don't normally see SPY just run up all day, nice even, without giving you some chop. So stay away from SPY. Wait until you've put some screen time in, preferably 6 months to a year or more, and then you'll be ready to mess with something like this. You know what I mean? But other than that, and then you could trade smaller stocks that kind of go off of it, because SPY is an ETF. So it's comprised of Microsoft and Apple and Meta, and there's so many things that are involved with SPY. So you got to watch other tickers to kind of get a handle on what SPY is doing. Eric watches SPX all the time. Coach trades SPX, right? But if you watch the two, and JP is famous for pairing up stocks that are matching and having the same typical behaviors, and he trades that way because it helps to have all these confluences. You know what I mean? And if you're good at checking those confluences, it'll help you make money. There's all facets to this thing, guys. There's a lot to it. That's why it's hard. But once again, if you're not winning yet, that doesn't mean you have to be losing either. Stick with the theme.
And Don, excuse me, I was looking at what the coach trains on the 9 and the 5 and 20, the 21 and 55, and the candles, and looking at the wicks like Nate talks to us all the time. And I had both the 1 minute and the 2 minute chart up when it was close to VWAP, because I wanted to see if I needed to stay in the trade. One trade was 28 minutes long. The other one was about 45. Well, whatever it is, you can see the time on the chart on the P&L.
Yeah. Yep.
And there was another opportunity for you guys if you just looked at the pre-market setup on SPY at the 562 and looked at it at 331 to 337. And then after that, 337 up to a little later in the day, you would have gone from playing a put to playing a call.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. It's just like the Qs. The Qs and SPY were kind of commiserate at that same time, doing the same
Not
thing.
if you're in Robinhood, though.
I'm sorry.
They cut you off at 3:30.
Yeah, I blew it way up on toss on Thinkorswim.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's the Qs.
And again, I had the 2 and the 1 minute up at the same time, but I was watching the momentum with the EWO on the 2 minute, and I was watching the 9 and the 21 and 55 we call it. If you're on toss, a moving average 2 line, it's called the moving average 2 lines. You have to change the numbers. You have to right click on it for studies or go to the studies and correct it and set it up. I set them up for 22 and 53. And it seems to be a little closer to everybody else's 21 and 55. But you can find out for yourself. So that's toss.
That's awesome. You are a toss lover, aren't you?
Well, it's only because I've lost my first 300,000 on it, so I'm kind of used to
it. So why not stay with it, right? And master it.
Yeah.
Get that money back.
20 years. I've got to make up 300 grand if I want to make up 20 years of trying to do it my way.
You can do it. I mean, we've got people who make 300 grand in a month.
Yeah, and I looked at that, Angie, when you were telling one of your folks was talking to you about 2% compounding, 5% compounding. Go hit your calculator, you guys. 10% a day on $1,000. If you don't have any clue how much that would be in 20 trading days in 1 trading month, just sit there and push the equals, put in plus 10% on $1,000 and then hit the equal sign and see if you can even guess at what it'll be in 20 trading days. And you can break those trades up. You don't have to have 25,000 as everybody knows. You can do 5 or 6 trades out of $1,000. You just shoot for 10% on each trade every day and have a lot of fun. And that's what I'm going to do, Don. I'm going to be accountable to you guys and tell you how that's coming out for 20 and 30% a day.
Please do. Keep us in the loop on that so we know how you're doing,
Yeah.
That's awesome. Waffle, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Don? Hey, I just want to let you know, send me the original email that I sent you with the testimony on it, please. Because I lost it. So send it back to me, and what I'll do is I'll put it on an audio for you and do that thing.
Okay. That would be perfect.
Yeah, and then I got to go back to work right now. So love you guys.
I will do that as soon as the aftermarket is over. I'll send it over to you.
All right. Appreciate that.
See you, Waffle.
Appreciate you.
Okay. See you.
You too. Don't work too hard.
I'll try not to.
All right. Where we at? Eric Simoto, you coming up? DJ Vinny?
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of a nicer Irish goodbye tonight.
Oh, cool.
So, got to do mom things, and then I got to go hit the gym. Got to finish out my day strong. So,
go out to chitty chitty bang bang for you.
What?
I don't think she heard you, JP.
Yeah.
Oh, tell her, Don.
He said he's something about chitty chitty bang bang. What is with chitty chitty bang bang? Everybody's talking about that the past couple of days.
Because Ange said cut it out, and a lot of us grew up with it that are about 20 years older than Ange.
Oh, no, not all of you.
I'm 67, Ange. You're a young
Okay.
But keep telling us what you tell us, Ange. You are talking to us like what the coach has trained you to say, and you're learning to just do it because it works, and you're proving it. Keep talking to us, please.
Thank you, JP. That's really nice of you. Thank you.
Have an awesome day, Ange.
What'd you say?
Have an amazing day.
Have an awesome day.
Yes, thank you so much, you guys. Y'all have a great night.
We'll see you
in the morning.
Get that workout in.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got anybody else that's coming up here? Come on, guys. I know you got a story for me about winning and losing and not losing if you're not winning. Come on, come talk to me. What's going on, Eminem? Victoriano, I see you down there, brother. How are you? Juan's down there. What's up, Juan? Joe Pink is down there. Joe Pink.
Come on, Joe.
Come on, Joe. Come talk to us, honey. Vaughn, Trader Vaughn's down there. What's up, Vaughn? Eric Smoto, let's go! I love Eric Smoto, man.
Eric was helpful today too in the afternoon on that last trade. Listening.
Yes. He always is, isn't he? He always comes in and talks us through trades, and it makes trading so much easier. But it's like, if you really listen to Eric, Eric is giving you gems. And instead of listening to him and just letting him guide you through the trade and just doing everything that Eric says, listen to him and do it, but then go back and figure out why. What was he saying? You know, go watch the video back if it's live that he was talking you through it. You know, go back and figure out where he's getting these levels. Don't just take stuff from Eric and not use it to your advantage and learn what he's doing. You know, I remember when I first started listening to Eric call out levels, it was like, why, you know, if I'm being transparent, because I hated the idea of charting for obvious reasons, because I struggle with eyesight issues. But when I realized the importance of it and how he became so successful doing it, and, you know, Coach obviously talks about it, and everyone's like charting. I'm like, what? All right, let me do this. Let me look into charting. And then Ted came through with the Trading View Indicator gift, him and Noonie. And it was like, whoa. Once I got a hold of it, it was like I realized how important it is to know those levels. It really does help you. It really, really does. So instead of just now listening to Eric, I could probably kick some levels to Eric. Hey, Eric, are you looking at this level? Or I got this level. What do you have? Instead of just sitting there listening to him feed you levels. You know what I mean? Feed some back to him and see and compare notes and see if you're doing it right. If you're seeing what you're supposed to be seeing. And if you find like you're matching up or it's close, that's letting you know, hey, I can fish for myself. I don't have to have Eric handing me fish every time he walks into the room. You know what I mean? Because he's not there to do that. He's there to help us learn how to do it. He's not there to feed you fish. He's there to teach you how to fish. When he comes on here, I love it because he trains you on how he's making the money that he's making. He shows you where he got in, why he got in there. He shows you what the indicators are doing that makes him react the way that he does. So it's Eric, you see the pitch, right? You already got the haircut, brah. You already got the haircut, man. Get your ass up here, dude. Come on. I am feeding for some Eric Smoto, man. If you're busy, I get it. He might already be in the gym. If you are, it's cool. Don't lie if you're not, though. Come on, dude. Come on, Eric. It's been a minute since we had some Eric Smoto up here. I mean, but really, that's where I learned a lot of that stuff, F2. You talk about the way that I showed you. I got it from Eric. You know, I got it from watching Eric consistently, constantly, you know, listening to him when he spoke, coming on here, watching it. You know, I remember being up in the screen, like when he was talking about, okay, you see how the 9 dipped down here and the 9 went first and then the 20. I'm like, because to anybody, the average person on the outside looking in, that looks like another language. It looks like some type of Sanskrit or something, right? But once you learn how to decipher it and decode it, it's a roadmap. It's like reading a book of a language that looks like English. So, you know, you got to listen to him when he's speaking because he is telling you how to navigate trades, like to a T, you know?
To hang
so
in
shout
there.
out to you.
That hard thing, Don, to hang in there. It's It's very hard if you don't have the indicators and you're not listening to him saying, or somebody saying, or Ted or anybody saying resistance, like the 562 on SPY was resistance. Then for a little while it became support. Then at the end it really became support. And all you had to know is that the VWAP, your volume weighted average, was changing just a little bit at that moment. So if the original numbers were 562, look at the difference between the VWAP and the 562 and see how SPY actually moved a little bit dynamically. It wasn't quite straight across the graph. It sort of changed a little with it later in the day. And but anyway, it's just things we never thought about, Don. When you tried to trade a year ago or 2 years ago, you heard Coach talking about it.
Yeah.
Had I done that, well, God bless me. I would have just been so much further ahead.
It's okay, JP. I think the same way sometimes. And it's like the cool thing is we're still on this earth and we're still learning, and we got it now. Now there's an understanding there that wasn't there before.
We got another chip. Yeah. There's a
got another piece of that puzzle.
Chips, and we got another chip.
Yep. People don't realize those chips add up. It's so funny. I was talking to Jen the other day, that same thing. And I said, and I know I say this every other day, but I think I added another piece to the puzzle. We hear Charles say that a lot, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. There's so many pieces to this puzzle, but once you get them, the puzzle becomes one piece, if that makes sense. Yeah. And everything just fits together. And then it's just like if you look at a puzzle, you take it apart. Of course, it's confusing. There's a bunch of different pieces, but once it comes together, you see the whole picture. That's how it is with trading. Once you get charting down, once you get how and why the indicators work and what they mean and what they're telling you, candle reading, once you get what that wick on the top means, what wicks mean, period. In relation to the size of the candle body, how in relation to the candles being next to each other, what that means, if it's an engulfing, if it's some type of three candle pattern, they're talking to you. And if you don't take the time to learn it, especially when we tell you where to go find the information, and Coach has a ton of videos on this channel, you are really shooting yourself in the foot. I don't feel like doing it. Then you don't want to succeed.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It really, really is.
And we don't have to prove something, Dawn.
No.
When you feel like you've had to prove something because of your past or whatever, somebody wasn't looking at you right or anything, we don't have to prove anything. And that's also why I traded better today, because Ted gave us a little bit of a lecture on reading the psychology of the guy that felt like he always had to prove something to his dad. So he was always hanging in a bad trade because he thought he had to prove something. And I have a lot of that in me, not because of I had a wonderful father who's an artist and everything. But there's a lot of things that make you want to try and prove things. And when you get over that and the trade becomes boring, and it was, that last 32% trade, yeah, it was interesting, but I did not look at the profit, you guys, for the first time and first or second time in the last 20 trades. I did not look at the profit. I looked at the chart, the trade, even though the option numbers were changing. I had my finger on the trail stop limit, and I had mine set for a 6% gap, Dawn, because that's a little tight. So I waited to put it in when I thought it was getting up there on the chart, and I hit the button, and it kicked back 6%, and I made 42%.
Ah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you. And I love the fact that Mark McSee was pounding it into everybody when he was on the show before, talking about how he does not look at his P&L. Jimmy is one of the millionaires that Coach created, did not look at his P&L, and I'll tell you, there's a trick to that. How are you watching the trade if you're watching your P&L? Maybe that's why some moves are missed that could have saved you money or made you more money. Because if you're busy glancing back and forth at your P&L and not intently focused on that trade, watching every wick that comes out, every movement of that candle, then how do you expect to be successful? if you're diverting your attention to something that honestly in that moment has nothing to do with that trade. That's something for you after the trade is done to look at. Oh shit, I lost $10 on this because I stayed. No, if you watch the trade, you're going to make the proper moves and you're not going to come out negative. Unless something happens that's catastrophic, that's unexpected from news, and something just drops or raises unexpectedly. If you're watching the trade, you shouldn't be losing, right? And if it does go against you, you shouldn't be losing by much. That means get the hell out. Don't wait for it to get to $20. Don't wait for it to get 30. No, get out. If it's going against you, get out. Period. It's supposed to be going in the direction that you saw it going. And if it doesn't, that means you were wrong in that particular instance. Get out. This is what the whole point of tonight is. If you're not winning, don't lose. Don't then turn around and just because you didn't take money from the market doesn't mean you have to give the market money. If you didn't make money, then damn sure don't give them you know what? I didn't take any from you, market, but I tell you what, here you go. Here you go. Here's $100 of mine. How about you take that? Why would you do that? Market doesn't need your money. I mean, it does to pay other people, but why should it be your money? You know?
Good point.
I just want to get all my money back that I blew up the first time. I'm gradually knocking at it, but I just want it back. That would make me happy. So.
And you are gradually getting it back, my friend.
Actually, I am.
You are gradually getting it back. We got somebody else that popped in. Let me see who that is.
Don, I'm going to pop out, but I'll be listening.
All right, JP. Thank you, my brother, for coming up and hanging out with us and giving us your tutelage.
Appreciate
you.
I learn also. You guys talk. Keep the learning going.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Yeah, he's here, F. You ready?
Let's go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Eric Smoto! Eric, you're muted, brother. Look at Eric with the fresh cut and the shades. Can't hear you though.
Can you hear me now?
You can. Yes, we can.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Woo! What's up with you?
Just outside with the dogs playing soccer. Yeah.
Cool. Dude, Spy was on some shit today, man.
Sure was. Very, very choppy. I traded Spy when I got to the barbershop. Coach was telling me on the Apple chat that thing is starting to crawl up above VWAP, needs to break and hold. So I waited patiently. I saw the EMAs, noticed that we were above VWAP, and I entered 50 calls towards the upside, and just was watching it carefully while I was getting my haircut, if you will. And by the time I got
this man
home,
is getting paid while he's getting his haircut. Do you guys hear this? He is in the barber chair taking money out of the market. That is crazy, Eric.
I got comfortable trading with my phone, and back in the day, I was very uncomfortable trading with my phone.
Yeah.
And now that I have my phone all set up with my EMAs and all my indicators, it's a lot easier for me to execute a trade on my phone now compared to back in the day. So,
hey, did you show your barber what you were doing?
Yeah, he's.
What did he say?
So my barber's name is Jordan. He's been cutting hair for about 3 years. I tell him about trading and whatnot, and he doesn't really know much about the stock market, right? But I tell him a few pointers here and there. And yeah, I mean, he's like the stuff that we do. He gets amazed. You know, he gets all amazed, and it's like he gets excited. You know, for the stuff that we do and the stuff that we talk about.
That
And
is awesome.
yeah, he's very awesome, and he's a good barber, and I always go to him, and he does like the hot towel treatment, washes my hair with shampoo and all that. Give him $75, you know, for the cut and everything. So I got him
So
dialed
how
in
much
too.
is the cut?
Huh?
How much is the cut?
45, but I give him
See,
75.
I would have loved you, man, when I was a barber. Oh, $35 tip all day long, baby.
Yeah,
That's
and
huge.
he was on his way to LA with this girl, so I wanted to give him a little extra, you know.
Yep, that is huge.
Yeah, so yeah, it was super choppy, and I saw that nice little break off from VWAP and rode all the way towards the top. Shaved 48 contracts, left just 2.
Nice.
And those last 2 got me a little bit more percentage. I was hovering around 40 to like 48 to like 50% on them on the last 2. So it was ranging between like 160 to like 180, 190. I ended up closing them out like a little over 300, the last 2.
Yeah.
Damn. Once again, it's a free trade. I can care less. You know what I mean? Like you enter 50 calls, you ride them all the way to the top. Once you see that double top, and you see that, I'm not all my profits, but I'm gonna go ahead and collect a good decent amount of my profits, which would be about 99 somewhere on percentage. And I'm gonna leave just 2 runners.
Yep.
Lock in that money, leave 2 runners, and then those 2 runners could potentially make me more money. You know, if it can, it will. If it can't, oh well. I won't be in the red because I'm up so high in the percentages that even if it decides to breathe back all the way towards VWAP, I'll be okay. But yeah,
the section that he's talking about, everybody, is right here, right what we talked about earlier. You know, because you can see I was playing SPY today. I had it charted out. Okay, I didn't like that line, and I see. But if you look right here, I mean, this right in this section here, this was the danger zone. You know what I mean? And it could not get past this level. Look at this. All morning long, it had the hardest time breaking past this level. Even when it did break past the level, it didn't go very far, did it?
Yep.
You know, and then even here, it went up a little bit, but it consolidated. You literally, and I said this to myself, I said, if I get in the SPY today, and this was all the way down in this range, Eric, I'm like, it would have to literally break these areas here for me to even consider getting into it. And eventually it did. It was after 2 o'clock, but it eventually did.
Yeah.
You know?
Here, I'm gonna go ahead and get my stuff dialed in here.
Cool.
Let's see.
I'm excited. All right, F2, we got some training happening, baby. Those of you guys down there in the cheap seats down there, I suggest you guys pay attention because you're about to get your learn on. Get the pad out, get the journal. Record your screen, whatever you need to do.
All right, let me go ahead and change the angle here. Let's see. Click video settings and back camera. Let's go. All right, cool.
It was wide, then it got back long again.
It switched to reverse, huh? Let's go ahead and do. Nope. Back door camera. Nope. Back camera. There you go. Perfect. All right.
It's so long, but we'll make it work. Yes, yes.
Flip it. There you go.
Oh, that works.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we were talking about it right here with Coach on the Apple chat. By the time I got to the barbershop, I noticed that this first wall, this 56142, was the first micro wall to break for SPY in continuation towards the upside, followed by the MA200. So wait patiently right on the 2-minute, and let me go ahead and zoom in more. All right, perfect. So once again, this pink line right here, that's my 9. The white line is my 21. This blue line is my 55 EMA. Yellow, VWAP, purple, MA200. I'm going to go ahead and turn off. Let me see, make sure I have my super turned. Yeah, it's turned off. Perfect. So when you see the EMAs right here kind of being squeezed down, and I said it before, it's consolidating. It's being squeezed. The pancakes are being squeezed. And you can see all the little jelly coming out, all the little syrup, right? So,
yep.
Because it's being heavily squeezed. EMAs are being heavily squeezed. EMAs are being heavily squeezed. EMAs are being heavily squeezed. Actually, now right here, we just got a thick wall of resistance, but when you see all 3 lines being squeezed together, that means it's consolidating. Now, we all know that we have 1 level support followed by your second level of support, right? This 561.20, this 561.03. So when you're trading SPY on the 2-minute, your idea is to go up. Now, what's going to tell you what's going up? There's a lot of factors that play into it. The first factor is, 1, we need to be above VWAP. Okay, that's the first factor. Anything above VWAP, and Coach has said it many times, is bullish. Anything below VWAP is most likely going to be bearish. Okay, but we don't know for how long, right? And that's why we study these walls as we're writing it up, to see if it can break these walls and continue to break newer walls towards the upside. Now, before we even get to these walls, we carefully analyze what we study when we analyze what's happening here. So we get this first nice little break, right? Your first initial little break here. Well, we got a couple of them here, little tests here. But this one right here tested that 561.42, anywhere in that range. It can be 42, 43, 44, I don't care. Anywhere in that range is going to be your first little wall of resistance. Broken hold. Now we're going to go ahead and test the second wall. This 561.51. Anywhere in that range, it can be 52, 53, 54. Anywhere in that range is going to be your next little wall. It's testing it, breaking hold, can breaking hold. And then we finally got a little boost. As you can see, it's been poking the 9 here, but hasn't fully penetrated all the way down. Testing it. We got this nice little boost until the next wall. Next wall is what? 561.68, right? Tested it once, twice, and we got a little brief back to your secondary support, 561.42. You got your first, and then you got your secondary support here. Now, when you're trading this, don't get spooked out. You know, it's SPY. It's going to do its normal breathe backs because it's respecting these level walls. And you can even see over here on the L2, you know, on the bid, how many orders are being executed on the bid side. So pretty sure we got a huge level back at 561.42. More people bought in, shoot it back up, skip the first level wall of 561.51, give it enough thrust and power to get us back up to that third wall, that 561.68. But once again, as a trader, we need to break and hold above, meaning we need to break above this level, this wall, and break into the next wall, if you will. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and see what these candles are doing. Are we still above the 9? Are we still above the 21? How thick is the distance? Is the 2155 EMA cloud? Is it getting thicker? Is it separating? Are we getting further from VWAP? You know, all those little things you gotta keep in consideration as you're writing it up. And keep in mind, we're writing SPY, so SPY is going to be a little bit harder to write, harder to execute. So you just have to be very patient. We get up to this 561.85 level. We're still looking good. Now we're above the 561.96. We jumped up to 562.34-ish. Somewhere anywhere in that range, right? We consolidated here for a bit. We're still above the 9, still looking healthy. We got a little breathe back there once they tap into that 562.34. No more breathe back. Now you're going to treat this 561.96 as your support. So it's going to go ahead and whoop, go up and then breathe.
Right.
And it's going to breathe back up, 562.34. And then it's going to try it again. It's going to breathe. When it breathes, when you exhale, that's the stock exhaling. And it's going to breathe back again. And it's going to try it again, that 562.34, to see if it can break and hold. We're still above the 9. Everything's looking healthy. Yeah, granted, these right here are a little, they're heavy and they're spooky with SPY. But once again, just keep, as long as you're telling yourself, we're everything is looking healthy. You know, where's my pen at?
Do you stay in stuff like that?
Yeah, it's not scaring me out.
I think we lost him. Well, that was interesting. Dude, I was grinding. I was in that. That was extremely interesting because looking at that area that he was showing us with SPY, that was very, very choppy. And it'd be hard for an inexperienced trader to stay in something like that because it's going down, it's chopping, it's going up, it's going down. And each time it does that, it eats away a little bit of your contract. But at the same time, like Eric said, if you get in at the beginning where you're supposed to, because Eric does a 2-minute EWO. So if you get in at the beginning where you're supposed to, and you've gained all of that premium on the way up, you can stomach some of those pullbacks, and that's exactly where you shed. So you don't have to ride it, like Coach said in one of the videos, the call options with Jimmy, right? Intro to call out. He said, you don't stay in heavy the whole way, right? You shave some off. Eric says, eat some cookie. So when it starts dipping like that, take some off the plate. Don't let all of your contracts lose money, right? So take 50% off the plate. That way, that 50%, you've gotten it at the peak and you've taken 50%, you've put it in your pocket with all of that profit. And then when it starts working its way back up, you're still in it. Now, in Eric's case, you know, there's times where he says if it can't break a certain level, he takes a different percentage. He takes 98% of his and then leaves the other 2%, or takes 98, you know, whatever the ratio is, where he takes most of it and then leaves a couple runners, right? So it all depends on you. You have to do what's comfortable for you. Some people may feel comfortable taking it all out. We've heard Nate say countless times, he's not a shedder. He believes in shedding 100% of whatever he's doing. He takes it all out. That's Nate. If it's Coach scalps a lot, so Coach usually gets in and gets out. But if you're a 2-minute EWO rider and you're looking to maximize on the run, then you have to get in at the beginning of the trade where the second candle is larger than the ones before it, And preferably, if you're looking to get into a call, it's above VWAP and all of your indicators are going in the proper direction, meaning the 9 is over the 21, 21 is over the 55, and they are separating, they're diverging. If all of that is happening and the candles are up above the 9 and steadily climbing, there's no reason, dude. Go ahead and get in that trade, that especially if it's right there at the beginning of an EWO. So you get to ride that out. And when pullbacks happen, you're shedding, but you're shedding with a decent amount of profit. And then you've got a little bit left over so that those are what's taking the dips, not the meat and potatoes of your trade. So let the little stuff deal with the pullbacks. And then if you come out at the end of the day with 2 runners, like Eric said, that have made you an additional 50%, you're golden. You are golden. So I have an understanding of that, and you can do this, guys. It's not rocket science, even though it looks like it at first. Once you get it, you realize how easy it actually is to follow these indicators and to do what they're telling you. You know what I mean? F2. I don't know what happened with Eric, baby, but I might just go ahead and get ready to call it a night because we did get some nice lesson in there, right?
Yes.
Yep. So, Eric, I don't know what happened, baby, but thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing with us. We're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap it up and throw on Coach's rules. I told you, sometimes he's on for 5 minutes. Sometimes he's on for 5 hours. That's my man. Tell me what movie that came from. Let me go ahead and find Coach's rules here. Look, Eric might be back and we gone, right? F2. But no, he was showing us the chop. He was showing us what was what. So everybody have a fantastic night. Please take into consideration everything we said tonight. If you're not winning, don't force a trade. Don't be a loser, right? Don't try to force your way into a trade. Get good at sitting out more than you jump in and watching, right? That is helping me so much. I did not lose any of my gains from last week. I still got the same, money that I had at the end of the week that I won, right? So today I was very, very careful to protect that. I didn't lose any of it. So I did some trading, but what I lost was gains that I had, and they weren't huge, 50, 60 bucks. And some of the chop ate it back up, but I waited to get in. But then you saw there was a couple pullbacks in there that just came out of nowhere and took a lot of the gain. So the bottom line is I still came out ahead. Yeah, so you gotta protect what you have, guys. That's just as important as making the money. So with that being said, thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Ange, F2, everybody that was up here tonight. JP, thank you for everything that you did. Waffle, and of course Eric Smoto, thank you for coming up and hanging out with us and giving us some education, man. Everybody down there in the chat that didn't come up. No, I'm only kidding. Everybody down there, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming in. DJ Vinny, I saw Vaughn down there, a couple of the names that I called out, Eminem. Thank you guys for being here. And Murmur, thank you, baby. Thank you. Thank you for always being there. And you and Arlo always having my back and putting the links in there. So let me go ahead and with Coach's rules, peace and blessings. And I will see you guys at 4 in the morning.
Go rogue. Some of the rules that we have to and live and die by in here is do not lose more than 1 to 3% of your total account value in any given day. Make sure you have stop losses on each and every trade, regardless of shares and or options. Make sure you guys are practicing small base hits. Don't go for home runs. Allow the runners to run and stop out the losers. If you're a new trader, make sure you are paper trading using a simulated trading system such as Webull or some of the other ones that are out there. If you are an expert trader, please make sure you also are being careful the first 3 minutes and the last 8 to 9 minutes of the day. Those are the absolute most volatile times in the entire market. Also, if you're a newer trader, please don't trade in the first 30 minutes or the last hour of the day. Those are the most dangerous times.